and also Topstar Decoder channel 10. Let's begin the conversation with my guest on the program, Mr. Mwale. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Innocent, and good evening, viewers.
Great. Let's begin from here. I know that we've got 8 days remaining, like I've mentioned, before the D-Day. And of course, Zambians anticipating to find which leader is going to answer to much of their questions, to much of their desires, their demands, and as far as the issues to do with the economy, to do with the jobs, matters to do also handling the COVID-19 that has just come in as well, adding to more pressure which Zambia has had for a long time. Let's get from you now as a leader from the civil society organizations, in as much as your contributions or your strides in this year's elections. What have you achieved so far besides collecting donor funds as CSOs or NGOs?
Yes, Mr. Innocent, that's a very good question. You've well elaborated on the different dynamics which comes to the fore. Maybe one thing which needs to be added is the fact that this time around we have a number of new districts added to the number of districts. And we have the issue of the council chairmanship or chairpersonship, but also the mayor. So meaning that there are new dynamics added to the electoral system. As civil society organization, definitely we've had we've responded to that challenge of the different dynamics which have come to the fore. We have a number of ballot papers which are supposed to be there, and we are aware that the electors are supposed to be well informed on that. But apart from that, we know that there are new entrants to the voters register, meaning that again there's that demand again with regards to the information which is supposed to be shared to the electorates themselves, but in this particular sense, the new entrants. So as Operation Young Vote, among other civil society organizations, definitely we've been on the ground and we've been conducting our civic and voter education to make sure that a good number of the citizens, especially those who registered as voters, come to the fore, and come 12th of August 2021, a good number turns out to vote. But as they are voting, they vote in an informed manner. So we are very confident that as a civil society organization, in particular Operation Young Vote, in the areas where we've been conducting our civic and voter education, we've played our part to make sure that as the electorate comes to the fore to participate or to cast their vote, they will know what to do. On the other side, we know that the space has had a number of challenges, especially amongst the political players, which might affect the manner the electorates might participate with regards to having knowledge of who is on offer and which political parties and the programs they are offering forwarding themselves. But with regards to information related to the voting itself, on how they're supposed to vote, and on the on the coming of the 12th of August, the civil society organizations and Operation Young Vote in particular have played this part to that effect.
In as much as the issue of educating the general public, more especially the young people that are of your target, OIV, I know that this is an NGO that has been in existence for a long time, for so many years now, under Guest Nyirenda now being at the helm of being executive director, and now you stand here as acting, executive director as well. Guest Nyirenda, I want to believe that has been very pragmatic, very courageous person, in as far as offering constructive checks and balances is concerned, in a quest to better the lives of the young people, and also enlightening young people on which leader really they should look for, a person with a message, not a person who is a violent person. This has been the message of your boss, but still more. Today is 2021, 8 days from now, we'll be going to the polls. Still more young people, they are still engaging themselves in a political violence. Would you say, as OYV, would you sit comfortably at home that you've achieved something?
First and foremost, talking about Gesnirenda, other than being pragmatic, as you've mentioned, is a very, very good nurturer. He's nurtured a number of young people, and honestly, I'm here as one of those he has nurtured. No wonder I'm here acting as executive director for Operation Young Vote. It's through his influence, he's nurtured us, he's influenced us, and through him we feel we like always need to participate in this space. And the number of other young people we have at the office, but also in our grassroots structures, feel inspired to participate in different spaces. Now, coming to the issues of violence, definitely as Operation Young Vote, we are aware that the fight for peace is a continuous fight. You relax, then it will erupts. So the issues of violence will always be there, but they need to be managed. They need institutions and organizations like Operation Young Vote to continuously be there to see to it that it is managed to the levels where they are minimal, or if we can go to the levels where they are no longer issues of violence, then well and good. But remember that on the other side, we also have other institutions which benefit through the violence itself. For instance, political parties, in their strongholds, they feel that if they were relaxed, then their competitors would take advantage and come in, and hence they use those negative vices like violence, corruption, and the likes. Apart from,
and that's what forms, I think, my question, because it appears that we have legalized, or we are attempting to legalize the illegalities, such as the issue to deal with the manpower, who has bigger muscles for you to win an election. I can give an example of the PF when they were in the opposition. They, cried foul regarding the political violence that were being perpetrated rather by the MMD back then. And when they formed the government, people thought that it was going to be a different story or different scenario. Suffice to mention that even them again, they seem to be promoting the same, confusion that was happening. We've heard again from the UPND leader, Kende Hichilema, as well, when he was perceived to be a holy man, a smart person. People criticized him to say the politics you have is not an African politics. You need to be aggressive enough for you to take over power. And today, the two political parties, the UPND and the PF, they have been found wanting by ECZ. They were panelized, and hence basing this discussion to say the two political parties perhaps could be one of those violent political parties.
You are right.
Should we legalize the legalities in the name of violence?
Definitely not. Remember that violence itself is a negative virtue towards democracy. Violence seems to reduce the participation space of different stakeholders. Talk of the women, the peaceful youth finds it difficult to participate in such a scenario. And it's very unfortunate that the political parties who are supposed to be in the forefront in championing democracy are the ones who are perpetrating these violent activities. It's like they feel what is at stake can be gained, be it by blood or by any other means, which is unfortunate. But what they are forgetting is that by so doing, they are making the space very difficult with regards to participation, and in so doing again, it leads to the production of minority governments, because when people shun in participation due to fear of those violences, then the numbers which will translate into the leaders which comes into office shrinks as well, leading into minority governments, which when they come to lead, definitely they will try by all means to convince the people that they were chosen by the people, and that legitimacy will be their main focus. at the expense of development. So definitely the issues of violence can never contribute to the growth of democracy by virtue of those intimidative activities making people shun the participation in the democratic space, electoral space, but also governance space.
Allow me, Mr. Mwale, to come to the defense of the political party leaders, because these are the people that have been accused that they are using young people to throw stones at each other to ensure that they fight the battles on behalf of their leaders. But allow me to defend all the political party leaders who have been accused for a long time and squeeze you a little bit in terms of what you have achieved, because I want to believe that these young people, they are the ones that are always at loggerheads, you know, and the insinuations coming out there that they are being used by the political party leaders. And the question is, an independent NGO like yours, OYV, Operation Young Vote, in offering or sensitizing young people, educating young people on civil rights, civil matters, what have you done? Do you leave this battle only to the political party leaders, or it's because maybe your work hasn't been effective enough to have the message, to convey the message and sink in the minds of those young people? Would it be okay for people like us in the media to say maybe the CSOs like, you know, yours, you have failed to, you know, educate young people?
The civil society organizations have definitely done what is needed to make sure that the young people participate in a peaceful manner. Remember that it's a small component of those young people who perpetrate this violence, and those young people are found in political parties mainly. No wonder we blame their leaders. I'll come to that point at some point. So as civil society organizations, Operation Young Vote in particular, we have at the moment mobilized a number of young people who are participating in these spaces of democracy, electoral spaces, but also in governance, who are very peaceful. But coming back to the point I was driving at, in political parties, there is that that act of glorifying those who are massacred. You've seen around those who are on top of these young people who are massacred, upon perpetrating violence, being given posh cars, being given expensive clothes, a situation which leads to other young people envying them and just want to associate with them, even if they do not necessarily benefit financially, but they will just want to associate to those, because those same people who are on top of them may be fused or seen to be close to the powers that be as well. And that is an open secret in Zambia. We have a number of those young people who are seen to be dining with those powers. And then when they come down, you see them acting in a violent manner and mobilizing the young people to go and participate in these violences. So that glorifying of the ones on top makes the young people to feel attracted to such groupings, but also to envy that at some point, if they can attain such a status, then they will be maybe well catered for by the political parties, but also maybe get into the wealth side of the nation. Because we've seen that a number of those, again, who are perpetrating violence or who are inciting violence amongst the young people, they've gained at the moment. They have access to land, they have access to expensive vehicles, they have access to the clothes, a thing which becomes that attractive to the young people. But on the other side, the civil society organizations as well are also mobilizing. Though for them, they are mobilizing using the virtue of knowledge, the norms, and the values. Unlike on the other side, where they are using the access to government machinery and access government resources and so on and so forth.
Before we move away from this issue of political violence in the country, I want to again just bring to your attention that from 2016, again I'll refer to your boss, guest Nyirenda, because it's been on this platform for a long time, for so many times actually, from 2016 until where we are today, and it's been talking about these issues of political violence and the need for young people to stay away from political violence, or to stay away from being used by political party leaders. You know, if you remember, so many people have died from 2016 itself during the elections. So many people died. One of them, it was was it Mapenzi, Jubulo Mapenzi, who died in Chawama, and that was suffice to mention, it was in my presence as a journalist covering that story, and it was a fracas between the police officers as well as the cadres from the two political parties in the Mideast. It was we, the journalists, covering that story, and somebody died along the way. What happened again when we went now to the main campaigns of voting? Again, it was another issue. From 2016, so many by-elections have been held. To date, people have died along the way. The Kasongo, the Obed Kasongo, if you remember them, you know, still more, this issue is not ending. We are still singing the same chorus. From your organization aspect side, as an independent organization, where do you think have we missed it? What do you think is the root cause of this political violence, besides the highlights that were given by the Commission of Inquiry into voting patterns as well as electoral violence that was established by Edgar Lungu? And the people of Zambia thought that upon establishing that Commission of Inquiry, these elections were going to be peaceful. We are talking about a different story again. People have continued dying. What would be the root cause, and how can we put this to a stop as we move away from this discussion?
Yes, I think it's quite a very sad scenario that since that time you've just narrated, we've never learned from that, and we've continuously behaved in the manner in which we are not supposed to do. The most unfortunate part is that in these violent activities, the people who die the most are the young people themselves. You've talked about Chiburu, very young and vibrant young lady. We lost her just like that. But on the other side of that is that the political parties themselves haven't learned from that, because Chiburu was going to be a very vibrant member of the UPND. Yeah. Of course, they lost a very quality human resource. But as a nation, we've lost. Those are the lessons we need to take. But again, we've had a number of activities which we've conducted with an intent to build peace and maybe to build spaces where dialogue is promoted. Yeah. But just highlight that? You just mentioned the Commission of Inquiries. And just recently we had two activities related to peace signings. One which was held by, which was spearheaded by CCMG and ZCID, and then the follow-up activity which was spearheaded by Zambia Police, the Zambia Police, by the Electoral Commission of Zambia. But beyond that, we didn't see those political leaders who committed to that, going back to their cadres and see to it that whatever seeds they were sowing that side, they took back home and shared with their cadres, meaning that on the other side of the camera, they are portraying to be that peaceful, but behind the curtains, it's like they benefit through the same violences, and we don't know what messages they give to the young people who belongs to their political parties. That is so unfortunate, and it is very sad that we continue losing the young people, of course.
On the issues of having an equal playing field, and as far as campaigns are concerned, during this period of time, it's another issue again that is being talked about, that there are some political parties, for example, the UPND, and also just recently again, the NAREP, Steve Nyirenda, they had their bite in Eastern Province, in which their campaign activities or rallies were obstructed by the Zambia Police. Whilst on the other side we see other people, for example, the president, he goes up and about conducting his usual, project checkups, which other people have perceived it to say these are campaigns by the president. But according to him, he says he is a head of state and he can't be compared to any other opposition political party leader. As OIV, how would you look at the playing field politically this time around?
Of course, as Operation Young Vote, we are very concerned that we have these negative dynamics, which makes it difficult for different political players, particularly the political parties, to participate. First and foremost, to sell whatever they are offering to the Zambian people, but also to interact with the nation. It is very unfortunate, and the other unfortunate thing is that if as a political party, indeed, either you've worked or you have a program for the Zambian people which makes sense, why should you avoid competition? So that the act of violence, the act of using different state institutions to make it difficult for others to participate in this space, simply shows lack of confidence in you. If you have that confidence, why not let competition come? I can liken it to a situation where you invite a team to come and play football at your home ground, and then you lock that team in a dressing room when you get to the field and try to start playing football, or at the end of it maybe you claim a walkover, which is the likely. There's a similar scenario with this. Let the others participate fully. Let them share what they have. After all, the Zambia we want to save, all of us, is the same, and we want the best for the common good for this country. So why not let others sell theirs, let the electorate compare what you have and what those have, and then the electorate to make a decision as to whom has a good or a better program for the development of this country.
How would you define this year's elections in terms of, for example, by the end of the day, you go and submit a report, maybe for example, to your superiors with regards to what you have observed so far? Would you say Zambia's elections or 2021 elections are free and fair, or they will be free and fair? Because I want to believe that an election is a process. It's not just an event that happened on the actual day of voting, but it's an event that begins from the registration of maybe issuance of NRC. It comes to voters' cards, in vis-a-vis campaigns, until the voting period itself, and then the announcement itself. From there, it goes on like that. How would you weigh in terms of how free these elections are this year?
I think with issues of a free and fair space for this election in particular, it's difficult to label it to have been free and fair. A number of players, including the party in power, the political parties who are promoting violence, a number of decisions which has been taken by the Electoral Commission of Zambia itself, the acts of the police themselves, has made it difficult for this space to be termed to be free and fair. If I was to talk about the period of voter registration, remember that a number of decisions by the Electoral Commission of Zambia were decided unilaterally. There was less communication with the other stakeholders. The times which were imposed on the other stakeholders with regards to first and foremost registering to vote, apart from that, the verification itself, the initial time was very minimal, and then it had to be extended. And what you need to remember is that when the first time has been given, definitely the people will concentrate on the time of the closure, and when the time is that short, the interest to participate might go down, and especially when it's coming to a close, and then you announce now the extension. people need to regarner their energies, their interest to come in, and again that extension is short. Other than that, there's been a number of other decisions which brought a lot of controversies along the way, which definitely do make it difficult for other stakeholders, particularly the political parties, to participate. Talking about the police and some activities which has been conducted, particularly by the party in power. There was that recent activity where the president went to distribute face masks without any regards towards the need to follow the COVID-19 guidelines. He was given space to do that, and then other political parties wanted to copy the act and follow in. But what happened next? The police came in that heavily with a very heavy statement. So it is such inconsistencies on a number of different institutions, especially institutions which are linked to the state, and the way they behave towards the other political players. They are so soft on the party in power, and they are heavy on the other political players like the opposition.
I know, Mr. Mwale, that we'll be getting to a clip at some point just to see what you've been doing on the ground with regards to educating young people on how they should vote and why they should be able to go and cast their vote come August 12, which is next week actually. And also, we should also be, the clip also depicts the importance of having a free or peaceful elections next week. So let's take a short break. We'll be back on the other side.
2021 is an event-packed year, with the August 12th general elections being the pinnacle of what to look out for. Luckily, you don't have to be left behind. Get a Muvi TV decoder from a paypoint near you. In Muchinga Province, Mpika, Donald on 0971 784 310. Chinsali, Humphrey on 0973 679 699. In Isoka, Ison Simwanza on 0977 429 000. In Nakonde, Brenda 0973 758 732. In Shiwangandu, Ian Mutale 0975 751 551. In Vubwi, in Mambwe, in Lusaka Province, Kafue, Costa Chola 0972 357 876. In Southern Province, Nathan Habenzu in Mazabuka on 0973 351 340. In Monze, Malambo on 0979 665 009. In Kalomo, Muvita on 0977 391 349. In Livingston, Samson on 0977 810 293. In Siavonga, Akride on 0975 675 062. In Western Province, Nkeyema, Brian on 0970 833 560. Kaoma, Gloria on 0971 495 793. In Mongu, Michael on 0975 864 597. In Kalabo, Litia Mwangala on 0966 229 890. Muvi TV, now near you. 2021 is an event-packed year, with the August 12th general elections being the pinnacle of what to look out for. Luckily, you don't have to be left behind. Get a Muvi TV decoder from a paypoint near you. In Northwestern Province, Solwezi, Jacob Lugula on 0966 845 089. Mwinilunga, Innocent on 0969 582 227. In Chavuma, Claudius Kaumba 0968 876 670. In Mufumbwe, Gift Kashale 0967 615 017. In Luapula Province, Kalasa Matthews in Imanza 0971 495 073. Mwense Pegas Chomba 0971 198 526. In Samvia, Bangwela Radio 0977 961 663. In Jelenge, Luapula Radio 0974 470 851 or 09661 250 32. In Kawambwa, Mwanza Bright 0972 659 662. In Mwanza Bombwe, Peter Sikazwe 0971 71 6605. Muvi TV, now near you. So here's how to pay using Airtel Money. Ensure your decoder is turned on and tuned to channel 1. Dial *778#, then select the option that says Make Payment. Select Pay TV, then select Muvi TV. Enter the 12-digit smart card number, then enter the amount you wish to pay. Enter the Muvi TV account number, omitting the dash before the last digit. Then select the amount you wish to pay. For inquiries, call customer care on 0764 250055 or 0764 250052 or 0978 732 411 or 0978 732 412.
Who's there?
Boy, kwacha.
Boy, sensei now kuvuta kutupa chani sasa.
Hii 04 tifunika na vota boy.
Boy, kuvuta chani boy.
Iwe kuvota tifunika katika partner mu kuvota chino chaka tifunika cheta vota.
Boy, yemekeza nasungiza mugaizi. NRC na vota skate.
Iwe vota skate na ina sufunga wasungira weka. Ili
boy, wazongeza lekani mumushe vesti.
Cha pasti na iwe.
Boy. Wira kunombera mutaji boy na kama.
Boy, boy, msanda boy. Kichapi.
Sisi ni vuta chani.
Ndio vota boy.
Kuvota
Ndio mangwana.
mateni na tena regime ni vota skate.
Ili kuteja.
Tenza penda faka.
Boy, vota skate na ina si wasunga weka boy. Notati deo fata dime no sakiwa mbo sakira
boy tunachita bwanji
boy enda sakire
embekeza boy sakire embekeza kazi
kuzika la serious
boy embekeza ya kwela pamono boy pamono shamba
why muliso
ama cameras real sensor timicho sit in the building tatule fire fyongo muchalo tesu tatule fire chongo muchalo tesu. Say no to bloodshed, say no to violence, say no to bloodshed, say no to violence. Kati simuna tenge komali mukuvota simuga veke, kati simuna tenge komali mukuvota simuga veke. Imwe mayuti mwe, tieni tuvotere chapamo. Mwe mayuti mwe, tieni tuvotere chapamo. Vena zambia mwe, tieni tuvotere chapamo. Vena zambia mwe, tieni tuvotere chapamo. Ilekicheni ileisa, tuvote na mano. Ilekicheni ileisa, tuvote na mano.
Wawa yatu ise mayuti Imbarot box voice yanu bena Zambia Imbarot box voice yanu imwazimai Imbarot box.
Most of our youth, they don't know how to vote. So I'm one of the people that will educate others on 12 August 2021. Because when we went for voter verification, there's a young lady who said that, in honesty, M2016 naika pali ma president XXXX kusira kwa chabe ujamene uja muntu wamene nifuna kuvotera ndio amene sina paile bonza bana paila XX. So for me, I think this is a good program. Will also help others who don't know about voting.
Ifunika kuvota toza wako iwe usha wako iwe itoza wako iwe usha wako iwe
Mwema yuthi mwe tieni tuvotere chapamo Mwema yuthi mwe tieni tuvotere chapamo Bena Zambia mwe tieni tuvotere chapamo Bena Zambia mwe tieni tuvotere chapamo Ekicheni ileza tuvote na mano Ekicheni ileza tuvote na mano
Tiende pamozi ndi mtima umo
Tivote pamozi tizima sule
Tiende pamozi ndi mtima umo
Tivote pamozi tizima sule Mwema yuthi mwe tieni tuvotere chapamo Mwema yuthi mwe tieni tuvotere chapamo Bena Zambia mwe tieni tuvotere chapamo Bena Zambia mwe tieni tuvotere chapamo Ekicheni ileza tuvote na mano Ekicheni ileza tuvote na mano Mwema yuthi mwe tieni tuvotere chapamo Mwema yuthi mwe tieni tuvotere chapamo Bena Zambia mwe tieni tuvotere chapamo Bena Zambia mwe tieni tuvotere chapamo Ekicheni ileza tuvote na mano Ekicheni ileza tuvote na mano A big shout out United Nations Development Program Operation Young Vote Boss Mr. Case Narrator Thanks for educating youths. We salute and let's make sure that we take part in elections.
All right, welcome back. This is a special interview with me, Innocent Piri. You can simply call me IP. And of course, my guest on the program is Isaac Mwale, coming from the Operations Young Vote, OIV, who is the acting executive director. Of course, we are live from Zambia's capital city, Lusaka. And of course, the program is on Topstar Decoder, channel 104, and also on our official page, Ask Muvi. You can also follow the conversation. Of course, that song highlighting a lot of issues. Mr. Mwale, the need for the people of Zambia, the electorate, to put their guns or their tools in order, being the voters card as well as NRC. Very interesting, actually, advocates that you have made. Something again that clicked my mind was the issue of cancelling into all the boxes against all the candidates and reserve the candidate of your choice. What's the whole story behind that? Just to simplify, for the sake of my mother in Kalingalinga or Kanchiwia, Eastern Province, where I come from, if you would want to simplify, speak maybe in a local language, Bemba, Tonga, Luvali, whichever, you can simplify that.
So first and foremost, that young lady was one of our participants as we were conducting our trainings in Livingstone.
Yeah.
And that was her experience with the fellow young people she interacted with during voter verification. And such cases are very wide. And unfortunately, in a number of other areas in Zambia, we still have such incidences. So the issue there is not knowing how to mark your ballot paper. And as Operation Young Vote in all the areas where we've been, we've emphasized on that one. Just to mention, we are conducting our voter education campaigns in a number of districts.
Right.
Yeah, we have 9 districts in Chipata, in Eastern Province. But we also have 3 other districts, and namely we have Livingstone, where that was happening. We have Ndola, we have Lusaka, and in Eastern Province we have Rumezi, we have Vubwi, we have Mambwe, we have Katete, we have Chipata, and so on and so forth. And as you can hear the names there, the dynamics are quite wide. We have those which are very urban, we have those are moderately urban, but we also have the rural districts. Other than that, we have new districts as well as old districts. And it is in such districts where such information is needed. If I may use my nyanja, ngabavota bantu venango nisibali information bwino yovotera mu peskati wakatenga ballot papers pali ma candidates wosiyana nga ma presidents pali ma presidents wosiyana. So mang peska venango is just their ignorance, but venango kumangala banabasta insight or banabasta influence longu kuli ma candidates yenango, especially wajak to apezeka mu area mwene simu stronghold mwawo. So as post educate bajaban na information ya voting bazaba uzat pajapanini lilini ukapaye pochenga tsuni konda unless uni konda ungachongepo ngatsuni konda ukapaye po, knowing that my rejected ballots yaza ngati yapaka or my spoiled ballots yakapaka azasta favor eve because ujawanini mu stronghold mwake mchima votes yastabwanji yachepa. So the right way to vote mu ballot paper paja padi ma pictures you say there's a face, my faces are line ku face padi symbol ya ma political parties padi next to the face padi zina ya candidate, and then padi a symbol ya political party, and then padi acronym ya political ku last kuja kuli ma empty boxes yaja yani hasta coincide na line ya ma candidates pali uja muntu wane ufuna kuvotera uja ndipo enda mkufaka X is the recognized mark yo voteramu. Siri munga ku school ja bakafaka X nshibakupaya bakafaka mo kachongwindi shibakuchonga X kuifaka mukati mwa box isachokelele kutigwire ma boxes yena ngwingalete mukati kwane mushemushe muja mwa box nishira vote yako iza pendeo added kuli icho ballot paper ili yonseja kumbuyo ku ifunika yankala na official stamp ya ICZ ngati libe official stamp ya ICZ is a ballot zankala rejected. Kozi ipanga ma chances ya kuti muntu angachoke nayo kuli konse ballot paper iza abwa mkufaka mo pamozi na enango, meaning that nshavota kaviri.
Right. I know that time is not on our side. I want us to squeeze maybe 3 questions before we go. How easy is this process going to be, more especially this time around that we've got 16 portraits, of the people that are contesting? There are people that are impatient. They don't want to stay there for a long time, and I find that maybe your candidate of your choice is maybe on number 10, for example, number 11. How easy is this process going to be from OIV perspective?
It was going to be easy if the space was open and these different political parties were to interact with the citizenry and the electorate themselves. But at the moment, it's very difficult, especially that very minimum time has been given to these political parties to interact with the electorates. At the moment, we still have a lot of people who do not know a complete set of those contesting, making it very difficult. But apart from that, there are those first-time voters who finds it difficult because they will have they will not have that confidence, and when they get in, they are not too sure. So it will be difficult for them to take their time to scrutinize the names and the faces which are there, which might lead them to vote just anyhow and vote for candidates who are not necessarily in their favor. So it is very difficult, especially with the scenario of COVID, but also with the other dynamics which has come in, making it difficult for political parties to campaign. yeah, it is very difficult. But we hope that people, regardless of the difficulties which we are experiencing, have taken that time to scrutinize these political parties and make sure that the people they will vote for on that particular day are those who really subscribe to their aspirations, or else we'll find that if we just vote anyhow without knowing who we are voting for, our issues, the issues which affect us, will not be attended to by the political players.
Quickly, I want to have a mention with regards to the constitution that we have currently. Remember, in 2016, the PF government under President Edgar Lungu, they gave us a constitution after so many demands and lamentations by the people of Zambia that they wanted a people's-driven constitution. And ECL came in, and what it did was to take off his specs and closed his eyes and assented into that constitution. But suffice to mention that up to today, that constitution that we have still has a lot of gaps, a lot of ambiguities. You know, we've seen the nomination that are being done almost on a daily basis each time a candidate withdraw. You know, this a people's-driven constitution that people of Zambia would demanded for, including OIV, that advocated to have a better constitution that is going to address the plights of Zambians.
Definitely not. The constitution which the people of Zambia needed was the constitution which stemmed from the Mungomba constitution review. And that had very progressive clauses, which at that particular time when the PF took charge of the process of the constitution making, removed a number of those, leaving a number of gaps within the constitution. But apart from that, the constitution making process lacked consensus. It was going to be better and would have had a very good document if there was consensus building, but also if it was built through dialogue processes. But at some point, when the politicians grabbed the process from the citizens, they started pushing the agenda of getting recognition as being the ones who've pushed or who've championed that constitution, leaving out a number of other stakeholders.
Others are going to argue with you, Mr. Mwale, that the issue of consensus has failed us before, because each time we invite stakeholders like OIV, among others, they, for lack of better words, they run away from the process.
Yes, consensus doesn't come easy. Consensus comes there when the table is that inviting first and foremost for dialogue. Consensus comes in when parties meet without preset conditions. If we are to dialogue on things which we need, we know that on the table there will be give and take, but the table should be inviting enough. There shouldn't be preconditions which says if you come in such a manner, then we won't talk. And that's as well giving those preconditions. Then it will be difficult for us to have that consensus or even to dialogue. So dialogue, first and foremost, should be built on the premises that we have our stance, they have a stance, but the table should be open enough. It should be neutral enough for the for the two parties to meet on that particular table. But remember that if I was to get back to this, at some point, the issues which has made us fail with regards to dialogue is who is supposed to maybe mediate us. Those are the issues which has failed us. But apart from that, the confidence and the faith in the structures which we formed to lead us into those dialogues, be it in the constitution making itself. From time immemorial, remember that the NCC had its own controversies. A number of people, some of those are part of the ruling party currently, shunned away from that. But also the recent activities which led us into the constitution we have, a number of other political players shunned away from it.
Let me beg for only 2 minutes from Director. The first question I have for you is the Zambia Army and other defense forces have now gotten involved in policing this year's elections. How would you describe IG's performance, Kanganja, and the police? Before I get to the last question.
First and foremost, I
hope you
think...
can answer within 30 seconds.
Okay, I'll be quick. IG Kanganza, first and foremost, and if I was to judge him through the words of the head of state, he's failed us. No wonder he was given that ultimatum, meaning that he didn't perform that well up to that point. But from there, remember that was given open to the state, but the president hasn't come out to tell us if he's performed that positively, and he has succeeded in meeting his aspirations as the president. So for now, the judgment definitely comes up to the point when he was remanded. But looking at other activities which has happened, for instance, he's taken time to come in to control the situation, especially when those acts were initiated by the party in power. He has only come to the fore when other political parties have come to participate. And the bringing in of the soldiers, honestly, is bringing intimidation to the voters, and the number of voters of whom we had convinced initially using our activities, which are sponsored by the United Nations Development Programs, with the fund basket, which was collected by a number of other funders, but also another activity which is funded by the U.S. Embassy.
Right.
We are afraid that the milestones which we have garnered will be disturbed by the intimidation which is coming in. Armored vehicles moving around the community and being related to being there to control the situation with regards to the election is sending a lot of fear.
Finally, under 10 seconds, you can face into that camera and just speak to the young people ahead of the elections next week. Under 10 seconds, I'll be very strict.
To the young people of this nation, I want to tell you that this is your time. If you won't vote in this election, your aspirations will be doomed. Remember that you have different aspirations as compared to the other segments of the population. And if you wait for others to vote for you, they will vote for their aspirations, and the leaders which will come out will be those who have been appealing in those areas. If it is the women, those leaders will be appealing to the women. If it is the elderly people, those leaders will be appealing to the elderly people and maybe concentrate on issues, for instance, of pensions, right, and the like. So turn out in numbers on that particular day, on the 12th of August 2021, and cast your vote. But as you cast it, make sure that you cast it wisely by making sure that you understand these political leaders and political parties and their manifestos as they are offering them to you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mwale, for coming to this special interview on Muvi TV. We hope to invite you very soon again.
Our pleasure, Innocent Piri.
Thank you so much. To the viewers, allow me to appreciate you for your support, and also allow me to appreciate my producer, Mavto Piri, as well as my team in transmission for those wonderful pictures. Ash Bell in the studio, Christopher, Obvious Kapunda. Allow me to say, may God bless Zambia, may God bless Mother Africa. Good night.